In a world where royal traditions often appear polished, flawless and untouchable, the British monarchy has once again been thrust into a storm of emotions that sweeps far beyond the golden gates of Buckingham Palace. Today the atmosphere surrounding the royal residence trembles with a revelation so deeply personal and so unexpectedly raw that it forces millions of observers to confront a reality rarely spoken aloud. Buckingham Palace has officially confirmed heartbreaking news involving Prince Louis, the youngest child of the Prince and Princess of Wales and perhaps the most publicly adored of their 3 children. With his bright smile, his playful gestures and his innocent charm, he has long been perceived as the light-hearted symbol of a new generation of royals. But beneath that bright exterior lies a silent emotional weight that the palace could no longer conceal as a private familial matter. The confirmation issued earlier today has opened a global conversation about the emotional and psychological pressures carried by even the youngest heirs to world-renowned dynasties, and the truth behind the curtain is far more human than many could have anticipated. Reports emerging from palace staff and corroborated by several internal sources suggest that Prince Louis has been facing escalating emotional struggles that have grown steadily more evident in recent months but were intensively shielded from the public eye. For years royal watchers have seen only the cheerful version of the young prince, the one splashed across magazine covers, public ceremonies and school outings. Yet behind that curated image, the pressures of royal upbringing, the relentless media attention and the intense expectation placed upon the youngest generation have started to manifest in ways the palace could no longer dismiss as normal childhood fluctuations. According to insiders who have witnessed the family's private concerns, the young prince has been grappling with overwhelming stress and emotional sensitivity heightened by the constant presence of cameras at public events and by the deepening awareness of his role within the royal lineage. These internal struggles have shaken the Wales household, prompting them to seek professional guidance and greater emotional support for Prince Louis. Those who have worked closely with the family note that the princess particularly has carried a heavy heart as she watches her youngest child wrestle with emotions that even adults struggle to manage. Kate Middleton, known globally for her compassionate presence and dedication to children's emotional development, has faced the painful reality that even the safety of motherhood cannot completely shield a child from the pressures of royal life. The palace confirmation did not reveal clinical diagnoses, nor did it label the prince's emotional turbulence with medical terminology. Instead, it acknowledged what it described as an urgent need to provide the prince with space, protection, privacy and emotional care. This is a rare admission for Buckingham Palace, which historically avoids detailing anything related to the mental or emotional well-being of royal children. It marks a dramatic shift in transparency, possibly influenced by the evolving public expectations of honesty, authenticity, and vulnerability in leadership families. Observers remember that Prince Louis has repeatedly drawn global attention during major royal events, not because of misbehavior but because of his candid, unscripted expressions. From covering his ears during flight pasts to reacting dramatically during long ceremonies, the young prince often displayed the kind of unfiltered honesty that children naturally possess. But while the world found these moments charming, insiders say they were early signs that extended public exposure triggered heightened emotional responses. While his siblings Prince George and Princess Charlotte seem more accustomed to duty and ceremony, Louis has often struggled with the structured and highly controlled nature of royal engagements. Experts familiar with child psychology explain that children with expressive personalities may become overwhelmed when placed in rigid formal settings, and that emotional overload is not only normal but can escalate when a child feels watched or evaluated. Now, with the palace's confirmation, it appears these long-observed traits were not simply moments of childhood spontaneity but part of a larger emotional challenge that has escalated over time. What makes this revelation even more profound is the broader context surrounding the royal family in recent years. The monarchy has endured unprecedented scrutiny, family fractures, global criticism, and the emotional fallout from public scandals and health crises affecting senior family members. Children absorb more than adults often assume, and for a young prince growing up at the center of a family navigating intense public shifts, the psychological environment can be far more complex than the fairy tale narrative suggests. Sources speaking under strict confidentiality emphasize that Prince William has been deeply involved in seeking additional layers of support for his son, determined to ensure Louis does not carry emotional burdens alone. William reportedly recognizes the parallels between his son's emotional experiences and the pressures he himself endured as a child, particularly after the tragic loss of his mother, Princess Diana. The prince has long advocated for mental health awareness, and insiders say this new personal challenge has reinforced his commitment to protect his children at all costs. The palace statement also acknowledges the effect public scrutiny continues to have on all three Wales children, but stresses that for Lewis the intensity of emotional imbalance has recently surpassed what the family can manage through routine parenting alone. This has ignited a broader conversation across the United Kingdom about the mental health pressures affecting children in high-profile environments and whether transparency from the royal family can encourage other families to address emotional challenges without shame or secrecy. Public reaction has already begun pouring in, with tens of thousands expressing sympathy, admiration, and respect for the family's willingness to speak openly. Many parents have shared their own stories of children struggling emotionally, praising the Waleses for their vulnerability, while others criticize the monarchy for continuing to place young children in overwhelming public roles that prioritize tradition over well-being. Nevertheless, at the heart of this moment is a young boy whose innocence and authenticity have captured global affection. Prince Louis's emotional journey, now laid bare before the world, raises deeper questions about the future of the monarchy, the boundaries of privacy, and the expectations placed on royal children who did not choose their destiny but were born into it. The palace's decision to reveal this deeply personal story also signals that the modern monarchy is evolving toward openness and compassionate transparency, acknowledging that emotional well-being is not a weakness but a universal human need. As the days unfold, more supporters and mental health advocates will undoubtedly rally behind the Wales family, offering compassion, solidarity, and hope as they navigate this sensitive chapter in their lives. The news has undeniably shattered the illusion that royal childhood is carefree or shielded from emotional hardship, reminding the world that behind every title, every crown, and every ceremonial appearance there are human lives shaped by pressures unseen. And as millions now reflect on the little prince whose bright smile may have been masking a growing internal storm, we are left contemplating a larger truth about the cost of legacy, duty, and visibility. What comes next for Prince Louis remains deeply personal to his family, but the world now watches with empathy, understanding that even in the most prestigious households the heart of a child remains delicate, vulnerable, and deserving of protection. Now the question that stands for viewers around the world is this: as we witness the youngest royal confront emotional challenges behind the palace walls, how do you believe society should rethink the expectations placed on children born into public roles?